Nice SBA.
Okay, welcome.
All right.
Josh joining as well. So now we can get started. Okay. So Josh, you went here yesterday. I just said to Zachary that as it relates to where we are in the SBA, I gave us.
Josh, weren't you here
Yeah, I was.
yesterday?
All right, that's good then. I don't know what happened there. All right, good. But yeah. So when you finish with that, any questions you have, please just send me a message on WhatsApp or email. Because the more time you bother me, the more time I have to give to help you. All right. But for today, though, I'm gonna just quickly get into it. It's fairly simple. I want to continue off where we left last term. We said that we covered every topic. Now we're gonna actually practice one of those topics, which is called auxiliary elevation. Remember that, our auxiliary view. My bad. Auxiliary view, right? That was where we want to find the true shape of a plan view. But now we're gonna say, okay, I know how to get a true shape, but I want to practice it. I want to actually learn the method. So that to engage you and remind you of what we discussed last time, I'm just gonna play a quick portion of this video.
Want to learn engineering and science? A bit unfair towards this profile of the entire object.
So this is just an orthographic view of the regular shape, but now that front view that we're seeing and the plan view doesn't accurately show that there's a slant there. We went through this already. It doesn't show that there's a slant. So what you would need to provide is an auxiliary view of that plan view, which shows it at an angle. All right, let's fast forward. So do you see the difference now? The red shape is the true view, so to speak, of this plan view. So let me tell you the number. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a true angle and the true shape of this plan view. And that's why auxiliary views are so important, because without this
An
concept,
auxiliary view.
we won't know how things really look.
Let me go ahead. Okay, and the sort of view that you obtain over here is what we call the auxiliary top view.
Okay, auxiliary top view. So I'm gonna just play a quick second of it just so you can get the main idea. All right.
When you speak of an auxiliary vertical plane, this particular plane is perpendicular to HP. Okay, so there are over here in a vertical plane, any particular this L shape.
All right, there we go.
Or it's okay. Now in order.
Okay, there we go. So now we want to find the angle, and I said you just attach a slant line above the front view or plan view to just show the true shape. Anybody remember that? Just put a slant XY line, right?
Okay, which is known as auxiliary inclined plane. When you look at that object, or when you look at particular plane, is what you call the auxiliary lines.
Right. You can see it has XY. You don't typically have to label XY. It's not necessary, but it's just to show that it's a different plane. Because this is an XY plane, and we're saying this is another plane that we're gonna show the true shape of.
Taking an angle of 90 degrees with this surface. Exactly. That's exactly what needs to be done. So you need to keep your mini drafter, one scale of your mini drafter aligned along this line, tighten the screw, and the other scale will automatically give you this 90-degree lines, right? That's very easy. So what we are essentially...
So what he just said was that you need to make sure that the angle to which you start to draw on is exactly 90 degrees. And he represents it by just putting a square right here. You see that, everybody? So you're lucky because AutoCAD will just snap to that 90 degrees, so you don't have to worry too much about getting it precise.
The drawing is, we're trying to prepare or construct as the reference, okay? At which, other like I repeat the same stuff, you have the true shape. Right? So that's how, that's why auxiliary planes are so essential in obtaining the true shape of any profile.
Okay, good. So sorry to cut you off, guy, but that's what I want to hear from him. He's just saying that that red shape now is just a true shape. Okay? So keep in mind that designing the auxiliary view is to see the actual, as I said before. And we're gonna just do a quick little practice exercise to get the main idea of it. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're gonna do a quick little exercise just to get the main idea. So let's say I am in Egypt, all right? Picture this is like a pyramid in Egypt, right? And I told you that aliens are coming to slant that pyramid to take it back up to wherever it came from, because that's where they say pyramids are from, right? And I quickly do a sketch of how the pyramid look, how the plane is pulling it up off the ground, and I quickly get a sketch off of it. But in order to tell you the true shape of how it looks from above the alien's view, right, I need to create the auxiliary plan. So here's the plan view that you see. So picture the alien pulling the pyramid and it's just slanted up above like this, right? Picture you standing in front of the pyramid and you see lifted off the ground like this. And then now also picture yourself in front of the pyramid. You're seeing the underside and you would see what you call the end elevation like that. Let me go over it again. So in the plan view, you're the alien. You're pulling up the pyramid off of the plan in Egypt, right? That's why you see it just like that. You're pulling it from this side, right? Now, let's say you're the human here. You're looking at the pyramid in front of you. You see that it's pulled off the ground, just like that. And let's say now, for some reason, you are a mummy underneath the pyramid, trapped for 1,000 years, and you are looking underneath the pyramid. That's why you would see the end elevation, just like that. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Right, perfect.
No, wait, the first one is the aliens are seeing it from above then?
Right, when they're pulling it off the ground, exactly.
Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
Then
afternoon.
why is it like this? Like, why is it horizontal? It's weird.
Right, okay, so remember that if it's in plan view, we need to make sure that it's still pulled to a point. So this is the utmost point. Remember that if it was perfectly downward, you would only see like a shape and like the points going outward, just like this. But because you're pulling it to an angle, right? You see one side more than this side. That's why this side is a hidden line. See that? Let me put it up. This part is in a hidden line right here because you can't see that side. Alien is pulling it off the ground and they tilted it. So one part you see more than the other. Does that make sense? All right. Let's do that again. Okay. So just for the learner that's joined, we're talking about aliens and Egypt. I don't know how, but I hope you get it. Let me just go over it one more time. Picture yourself like you come to Egypt, Delano, right? And you want to take back your pyramids. So you just teleport and you bring back up the pyramid and you have to stop halfway. So that's why you see the pyramid tilted. So in the plan view, you're that alien that's pulling it off the ground. In the front view, you're like a bystander looking at the pyramid being pulled off the ground. And we say in the end view now, you were like a mummy that's trapped underneath the pyramid that was for 1,000 years, and you just see the underside of it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, sir. Now I understand.
All right.
So it's like upside down cone for the end elevation.
Exactly, like underneath it, basically. Perfect. Okay. So as you can tell, this is the projection symbol right here. And I hope somebody remembers what this projection symbol means. Anybody remember?
Sir.
I gave you an acronym. Anybody can remember that acronym? FE.
Oh, it's the wait. It depends on. Sir, I don't know.
It's pretty easy. Come on. So
Wait. Wasn't it like depending on how they're like set up?
perfectly. Okay, so tell me how this is set up.
It's like a L.
Okay. All right. And this is the what? This is what? Which view is this?
P plan. Sorry, I was.
Yeah. So this is
Somebody was going on.
this one. So we
Sir,
got.
the FEP.
So this is.
Oh, FF.
That means it's gonna be.
Is it first angle? What?
Gonna be the second or which is third angle. Remember the first part of the acronym, FEP.
Oh, I was right.
Yeah, you're right. So the first part of it is FEP, which is first angle. But hold on,
Third angle projection.
it's gonna be third angle projection because you have only the plan above, then you have EF. Okay. Let me show you an example now to follow for a class exercise. All right, so here we go. Let's delete this.
Sir, I'm confused.
Let me go back to it. Okay,
What the sign them mean, bro? It mean FEPEF.
Right.
Well, the acronym.
let me write an acronym. Front end, plan, and front. F, F. So
Just use that to remember overdraw it.
right. So whenever somebody comes to you and tell you that this projection is in FEP, you know it's first angle because he's basically saying you have front, end, and then plan. But if he comes to you know with this drawing where you only have plan above here, Corey, that means it's in PEF, which is third angle, because you have plan alone, and then now you have front and end, or just end and front. Does that make sense? So it's a quick little acronym
Yes,
to remember which projection symbol you're doing. Whenever you see only plan above here, you know that's third angle projection. Whenever you see the front and the end above here, that's first angle. Hence why you see FE first. All right?
yes, sir.
Well, that clears it up. Okay. But what I want you to know to do, because that's really the portion I want to focus on, I'm going to give you now a class exercise. So now, let's say that another alien, because there's multiple pyramids in Egypt. Let's say another alien now is pulling on another pyramid, but in a different view. So the previous one, let's look at it now. The previous one was pulling it to this side, right? Pulling it to the left. But the next one now is pulling it, right? Can anybody tell me which angle is he pulling it from? So if the first one is pulling it this, how is the other alien now pulling this pyramid?
So he's pulling it up.
Pulling it up? So it's pulling it this way?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else agrees or disagree?
Sir, he's
If you have,
Can you repeat that, please, sir?
let me go to the textbook, 1 second. If you have the textbook, I'm just gonna tell you the proof, 1 second. I wanna make sure
sir,
yeah?
it's pulling it like this.
I agree with that statement.
Lana, can you show that again? I didn't see it. Right? Okay. So yes, he is pulling it up. Perfect. But what I want to show you now, I'm going to show you. So the page is, if you have the book, it's on page 79. All right. But let me just explain it to you now. Okay. Page 79. So really and truly, if the alien is pulling it up, then that means if I am looking underneath this pyramid, what will I see, or what would it look like to me? That's what I want you to figure out. All right? Pretend that you are a bystander, like what we said earlier. This was where the bystander was looking at to the side. You're gonna look to the side of this and tell me how it looks. That's gonna be your end view. Does that make sense?
Ooh, yeah.
All right. So quickly, just sketch it on a piece of paper and then take a picture of it, and then that will be just your little task for homework. Just sketch it. How it would
Oh,
look.
it's homework?
That's gonna be the homework. All right, let me repeat it. So in the previous one, you were given that you had the pyramid tilted to the left. That's why the front elevation showed it like this. But in this one now, as Delana said, it's pulled upwards, right? So the view would look different. I wish I had a little.
Sir, is it okay if I do it on a post-it? That's fine, right?
Sir, it will look the same, it's just that it's shown different.
Exactly. So that's a keen observation. What he's saying is that it is gonna be the same thing.
Same as the end elevation over here. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. If you looked at it properly, you see the difference because it's the same thing. Because if the end elevation is now the front elevation here, that means the front elevation here would be the same thing for the end. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that's all you have to do. Just redraw this, sketch it for me, and then now put the new end elevation beside it. Right? And when you've done that, now you're gonna show what the auxiliary plan would be on that end elevator. All right, everybody, and that's your homework. Now, I'm gonna put it on the portal after, but that's your homework. But I want to get into really because these topics are important.
Wait, sir, explain that again. What should we sketch?
Okay, so in the class,
Redraw that and then just add the end elevation.
right? So instead of putting,
Last one.
yeah, instead of putting the auxiliary plan on the front in the homework, we're gonna just put it on the end. You realize? Let me zoom. Look at it for me. This shape right here, right? It's the end view on this one. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
That means all you're gonna do to draw the end view, it's gonna be this shape. Do you see that? So you're gonna put this shape as the end view here.
But why, sir? Why would it be slanted? That's not slanted.
All right. Let me tell you why it's different. Because the way the alien is pulling it at a different angle. Look at it. This was being pulled. This was being pulled to the left. The pyramid is no longer being pulled to the left, it's being pulled backwards. You see that? It's being pulled backwards. So that's why you see underneath. Teaching online is very hard. Trust me, I know. Teaching you guys online is very hard, but try to see it. If before I was pulling it to the left and I saw the underneath, right? That means when I pull it to the back, I'm gonna see the underneath, right? That's why the front view shows underneath. Okay? All you're gonna do for your end view, put the front elevation here and show me that you understand how you got auxiliary plan by placing on that elevation. If it's not clear, just watch the video because it's really incredible. But I want to get into, guys, the biggest objective, which is the SBA. Okay? Some person, I think Zaki wasn't here, so I want to go over anything you might not understand because the first section, which is just a statement of problem, is due tomorrow. Right? Let's go to that section.
I get it now.
But I don't want to add stress to you guys. So I basically make sure that the class exercise shouldn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes. And then now you have the majority of your time to focus on SBAs or just other work. Okay, let me just copy the link to this if you want to do it. Just copy the link. All right, here we go. Let's put it in the Zoom chat. Here we go. Okay, good. And I am gonna now open it up and view it as well. Okay, now look at this one, man. It's loading up. There we go. I'm gonna go to page 3. So yours should look like this, where the safety rules is there. We went through this already, Zachary. Right, your commands, right? And then now, as I said before, to put your cycloid, you won't put it or copy it onto this Word document. You'd only write a page with the question and just say, the following page, depict the answer, right? And I would know that, okay, the cycloid is in the file, but it's not on the document. Same thing for the isometric drawing that you did. What we want to get into is a statement of problem. So,
wait, sir, how do I get the drawings onto the paper?
onto which paper?
Am I supposed to get my cycloid drawings onto the SBA, like the Word document?
No, yeah, you're not supposed to get it onto the Word document because, as I showed you yesterday, right? The way that I sent you the SBA that I gave you, it's in a file zip, multiple files inside. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're finished with everything, I'm going to show you how to put a file like I did. You're going to simply copy all of your PDF or your documents. You're going to press right click, then look for zip. Give access to, I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. Then to zip folder, right? That would just zip everything together. So it's like it packs it in a bunch. You finish that step, all right? Let's go back here. What is due tomorrow is for you to tell me your statement of problem, your conditions, and the design principles. It's pretty simple. We went through it yesterday, and I said that you're just gonna look on the question paper, tell me how many flanges are required, put that value here, right? What angle it stated, and what time it gave you, right? And then now tell me which, so this is the partner that is actually gonna be different. You're gonna now tell me which design you're gonna be choosing. Whether it's gonna be a vice, so I think I can go back on the question paper, hold on. Let me look for the question paper. Technical drawing SBA, technical drawing SBA. Okay, there we go. Perfect, okay. There we go. So yeah, I gave you these types of designs to choose from. This person chose jig. You can choose jig if you want, or you can use a vise, all right, a bolt or a clamp. But you need to tell me which one you're gonna use. And then now, when you're here, you're just gonna simply tell me that they're based on the question, it wanted to do X, Y, and Z. So look in the question. What does it want it to do? For
What
holding.
are the design principles? What are those?
Okay, so think about the iPhone. When they were selling me the iPhone, didn't they use adjectives to describe how good it is? Like, it's durable, it's like long battery life, all of those,
Yeah.
right? So you're gonna just describe, right, the principles or just describe the ideas around your design, why you chose it. Oh, I chose a vice because it has strength, like tensile strength, right? It can hold different machine parts completely. Or you chose angle block because it offers simplicity. Those types of things are to justify your thing. It's just 1 to 3 principles, and then I'll just give you some corrections. But make sure that you submit something. It's better to practice 1 kick than 1,000 kicks. I think that's how it goes by Bruce Lee. Let me think about it. Okay, it's better to have practiced 1 kick 1,000 times than practice 1,000 kick 1 time. So if you just do this once and send it to me, I'll give you the best feedback that you can follow along with. But if you don't submit anything now, I won't know where you are to help you. Okay? All right, everybody? Okay, good. So that's the part that's due tomorrow morning. The next part that we're going to talk about is just an example of a design. So I want Jessica to read this for me.
Okay. My project will ensue a jig. The jig is aimed to fulfill the requirements listed above in the conditions and the design principles. My design comprises of a V-block and a vice grip concept. To hold the flange in, the V-block mechanism was conception. To secure the flange, the vice grip was the conception. The guide is attached along the stationary V-block mouth. This design is a functional and original workpiece, and I hope it fulfill its purpose.
That was a struggle to read. There was a lot of errors, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to show you now how to format using
Sir, every time I watch a YouTube video, that ad.
Grammarly Premium. It's worth it. I bought it for like a lot of money, but it's very worth it. All right, but let me show you now all the errors that were in this. So hard to read it. Okay, I'm gonna copy it and I'm just gonna go to the Grammarly. Let's see what they're saying. So you want a general audience to be able to read it, right? It shouldn't be formal or informal. You want it to be in here. What it's gonna be is a business, right? Analytical, and you're gonna describe something. Okay. Look at this one now. Okay. So what does passive voice means? It means that you wrote in the past tense. I'm not gonna go too in depth because this is English language. But if you're gonna be selling me something, right?
Will be.
Present tense. We want to talk about something that's in the past. We want to be actively speaking about it. So you could say the jig aims, not is aimed, jig aims to fulfill the requirements. Simple. Again, this isn't English language. I'm not gonna go into it, but this is a dangling modifier. So instead of saying to hold the flange in, we could say holding the flange is holding the flange is a V block mechanism. Okay, punctuation is attached. Again, another one to secure the flange. So we could switch this to securing the flange, securing the flange is a vice grip concept, or just is a vice grip. So I know this is very like tedious to know, but if you properly speak, people will understand the idea better, right? And okay. So what she's gonna do now, she's gonna read it for me again and tell me the difference. Let me just do one more. So it says, you have a passive voice again. The guide is attached along with the stationary view, but we could say the guide attaches along. Okay. And also you can give it in different sections. Okay, so Jessica, read this for me now and tell me the difference.
Okay. My project, oh, you're still moving. Okay. My project will ensue a jig. The jig aims to fulfill the requirements listed above in the conditions and the design principles. My design comprises of a V-block and vice grip concept. Holding the flange is a V-block mechanism was conceptual.
Don't pick up everything. That's why they say 90% have V-block mechanism.
Securing the flange is a vice grip. The guide attaches along with the stationary V-block mouth. This design is a functional and original workpiece, and I hope that it fulfills its purpose. When I was reading it the first time, I was like, wait, like, am I Josh? Like, can I just actually not read? Because I thought you were like an English teacher. I was like, there's no way.
Right. But I just want to show you the difference between explicitly stating an idea and making blunders, because it's hard to understand when there's mistakes. All right. That was a quick little example. Okay. So with that said, that's the approach I will take to marking your SB. So don't worry about perfect grammar, because these are rough drafts. Ensure that you submit something. So these parts, the statement of problem, the conditions, and the design principles are what I want as early as possible, which is like tomorrow. Right? And then we'll get into the design after you submit that. Okay? For the parts sheets, I'm gonna just quickly go over it. So picture this. iPhone, yes, it's basically a very expensive phone, but they need to specifically use different types of material compared to a Samsung because they have different use. Since the iPhone is high end, that means it needs a good durable metal to withstand heat, right? So for example, they don't actually use cast iron in their phone, I'm just saying. They would use cast iron, right? And that's optional because sometimes it's not cost effective. You would just tell me, for example, what are the typical materials, right? Explain why a hardened tool steel can be used, why cast iron or why granite, right? And then that would be the end of it. Yeah. So all of this is not necessary. I just pulled it up just to make sure that you get the idea. Because I did tell you that when I started, this was my second business, right? I used this to actually design a pump for a school that needed it, and it worked successfully. So this idea is not just for you to do once and put down. If you do it properly and correctly, can make something happen. All right. So yeah, just make sure that the statement of problem, the conditions, and the design principles are done. Is there any questions? Any questions? I can expect something tomorrow morning. Okay, okay. All right, great. Thank you guys so much. So tomorrow, so next class now, I'm gonna quickly um teach into next class. For next class, what I want you to prepare for on page 80, right? We're gonna practice something called practicing with machine. You probably tired of hearing the word machine. Practicing with machine blocks. And what this means is that in the work examples earlier, right, there was no measurements. For next class, be prepared to be given measurements that needs to be constructed in AutoCAD. So for Corey, Josh, or no, for Corey and the persons who do use the online AutoCAD, just make sure that you send me the ping when you're ready, and I'll just accept it, or just send me a message before. All right. So I'm gonna quickly now give you a picture of the work that we're gonna do next class, just so you can have it in advance. Let me go here. Let's just go here. So when I take the picture, it automatically shows there. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's take a picture there. I can even time it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. All right. So just look at this, pay this some mind, think about it, and we're gonna actually draw this in orthographic, and then we're gonna make some edits to it. All right, everybody? So I'm gonna leave you a little bit 5 minutes early, just to make sure that you have enough time to try to send me that SBA section, okay? All right, everybody, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next class.
Bye, sir.
Take care.